morning, everyone. Happy Mishmas Day 7. Happy Sunday. I was just like, I try and rearrange my couch every morning before I start filming because it's in the background. And it's because Butters is so funny. We fold up all the blankets. I put the pillows like that. And I don't know, she goes through but she has to hump every pillow. She has to hump every pillow, and then she has to, she scratches all the blankets. But it can't just be like one blanket. She has to mess up every single blanket. I have like 3 or 4 blankets back there that I fold up or whatever that I put in it. No, she messes it up. Anyway, by the time, at the end of every single day, both couches look like, I don't know, like I've had a party in here. Oh my God, where's my coffee? Hold on. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Happy day 7. Happy Sunday. We have a tasty coffee this morning. This is actually one of their seasonal coffees. This is the, what's it called? The cinnamon and tamarind one. Hold on, let me look up the full name. I just saw it, but I already forget. Let's see. Cinnamon and candied tamarind. Yeah, so this is like their limited edition. It has spice and caramel notes. It has 2 out of 5 for all 4 categories: body, bitterness, acidity, roastiness. A festive delight evoking cinnamon, spices, tamarind, and dried fruits in a sweet coffee base. Yeah, this one is a delight, and it smells so great. I love the spices. I sometimes like to add cinnamon into my coffee. I don't know, I just like the little bit of like extra flavor, especially since I stopped adding like milk or sugar to my coffee. I just drink it black. These like slight little like flavor variations are so nice, so nice. So anyway, I went onto the espresso site like a few weeks ago because I know they have their like seasonal limited edition flavors that come out. And I was so excited to see this cinnamon and candied tamarind. I had ordered like 3 sleeves or whatever, and yeah, I've really been enjoying this. So this was the coffee that I had been enjoying before Mishmas started. It's so good. It's so good. Okay, let's open up these advent calendars and get on with our day. Happy Sunday. Okay, day 7. Ooh, we've got one of the smaller scents. Oh, the Eau de Rose. Such a beautiful rose scent. It's not heavy at all. It's not one of those like deep dark rose scents. It's really light and bright. Oh, I love it. And it's a little spray. It's not a roller ball. Nice. All right, day 7. Day 7. Down here, we've got, what's this? A ritual oil. It's blue. Oh, nice. I cannot read that writing, but I wonder if it has like blue tansy in here, which is really calming. That's usually what gives skincare products the blue color. Well, I'll have to look into this, but this is so cute. I love this little bottle. Okay, day 7. We're at the top. Oh, I didn't pull this out far enough. Here's 7. It's a big one. Oh, I got a glow. A hydrogel under eye mask. I didn't realize Benefit had these, and you guys know how much I love under eye masks. Oh my gosh, I just got really excited. Amazing. Hey guys, I've got my Luxury Beauty Lowdown today where I talk about my recent faves, fails, any thoughts I've had on makeup that I've tried over the past, well, generally month, but I actually have not posted this video in quite some time. So we have some time to cover, but I traveled a lot during that time, so I wasn't really testing out a lot of makeup, but I have come across, plenty. I've come across plenty of stuff that I really, really love that I've developed thoughts on, and a lot of it is, kind of as I was like putting on makeup, which is what I like to do, like put on as many of the favorites onto my face as possible, and I realized it was like I had a lot of like decisions I had to make because I had a lot of eye products and I had a lot of cheek products. So it's a very eyeshadow and blush heavy video. I do also have some skincare, some hair care, and actually a perfume. Let's start with perfume because I just sprayed it and it's top of mind right now, and it is absolutely like my new most favorite scent. And I talked about this in my sexy scents for the season video. If you got that, I think last week I put it up. My Mishmas schedule it's tight, and I'm trying to really like plan But you know how things go. So anyway, I'm pretty sure I put it up last week, and it is the Memo Paris African Leather Eau de Parfum. Now I have two other of the leather fragrances from Memo Paris. One is Ocean Leather, which I like. It's not one of my favorites, but I do like it. And then I have, and I always forget, I think it's Sicilian leather. I think I've been saying like Italian, it could be Italian leather. Anyway, I think they have two like Italian themed leathers. One is Tuscan, and I think one is either Sicilian or Italian. Anyway, forgive me, I'll put the correct one here on the screen. I love that one. That one I love. I've talked about plenty. It's one of my like deep summer favorite fragrances. This African leather is now one of my favorites for the cooler months because it has a leather base note in there, which all of the leather fragrances from Memo Paris have, obviously. But this African leather one has a lot of spiciness to it, which I love. It has cardamom, it has cinnamon in there, and it's so warm. It's so intoxicating. I do think it's very, very sexy. I love that like leather base in there. It's so comforting, cozy, inviting and sexy all at the same time. I just absolutely love it. Now, the Memo Paris fragrances, they have a very, very long wear time. I think when I wake up the next day after I've sprayed it the previous morning, I still smell it. So it's there. It's there to stay. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. It even lingers a little bit on the clothing that I wore that day, which again, I don't really mind. Oh, but I love a spicy, like sassy kind of scent come the holiday season, especially, but the colder months, it just makes me feel warm from the inside out. So I wanted to mention this Memo Paris African leather. It's divine, really, really beautiful. I do have a few hair care products to talk about, and I think I warned you in my Sephora VIB sale haul video that I was going to be talking about hair care products a lot more on my channel because I recently bleached my hair. So this heat protectant is the one that I traveled with, the one that I fell in love with over the past, several weeks. This is the Oribe Bright Blonde Essential Priming Serum. It has a purpley tint to it. You can see it actually right there. So it's got the, kind of the typical blonde, violet pigment situation going on in this serum. And it's kind of like the Balm d'Or, if you guys are familiar with the Oribe Balm d'Or product, which is like a heat protecting cream. It's something that you work through damp hair and then, you blow dry it. It's a great heat protectant. It's almost like a very light version of like a leave-in conditioner. And I really love it. I have, I guess, fairly coarse hair. I never really thought of my hair as that coarse, at least not anymore. It was definitely much more coarse when I was younger. But when I got my hair bleached, my colorist was like, wow, your hair is like rope. I was like, oh, okay. Had no idea. Anyway, I love the idea of like a moisturizer for my hair, especially now that I've bleached it. And I actually have to use quite a bit of hair care product now. Before I bleached my hair, before I, did anything to my hair, I would use of the Balm d'Or, I would use maybe 2 pumps, maybe 2 or 3 pumps. Now I go in with maybe like 8 pumps of this. I'll pump out like 4 pumps and work it in to like the lengths of my hair. And then I'll pump out another 4 pumps and work it into the roots of my hair. And it's great. It's like a one and done almost situation where I can put this in. It's a heat protectant. It's like a leave-in conditioner. It makes my hair very manageable, shiny. It tones my hair. It's heat protectant. It does all the things. And I just love it. I just love it. I don't even need that much of a styling product afterwards, if I'm wearing my hair like, naturally or whatever. I really, really enjoy this product. I really like it that it kind of helps with like the toning because I don't want my hair to get too brassy. I like it kind of cool to neutral to cool toned. So it really helps with that. The other hair care product I want to mention is the one hair care product that at least on the road, I was using a lot as like a styling product. And this is the Living Proof Full Dry Volume and Texture Spray. So they have a lot of dry shampoos, Living Proof that is. They have a lot of dry shampoos, but I love this one for the volume and the texture. And historically, I've used like dry shampoos as like a texturizing spray because a lot of texture sprays before I bleached my hair, a lot of texture sprays, they weren't enough. My hair, I guess, was just you know, kind of just did its own thing. My hair definitely had a mind of its own before I beat it into submission with this bleaching process. And so I used a lot of like dry shampoos to actually give my hair texture. But this dry volume and texture spray works like a charm with my hair now. I just sprayed at the crown here to give my, you know, to give my crown a little bit of height. That's pretty much the extent of my styling at this point. I do add oil and like glosses. There's a Kerastase gloss that I use. I'll put that in my hair, like the lengths of my hair, if I feel like, you know, it looks a little bit dry, if it's looking a little bit frizzy. You know, coming back to Las Vegas after traveling in much more humid climate, the humid climate hair, you know, was definitely frizzy, but my hair here in Vegas, it's just, it feels like dry and staticky because it is so, the climate here is so dry. So anyway, I will use a little bit of oil, but this is primarily like the styling product that I've been using. It just gives my hair really nice texture and just enough body. I mean, nothing crazy. It gives it just enough so that it doesn't look too flat. And I love it. And I got this little canister when I was in New York. So this is before I went to Japan, before I went to Michigan, before I went to Miami and the Bahamas. And so I got a little travel size and it's great. I definitely have to get a full size of this. Maybe, I believe Sephora has like a coupon code going on. Yeah, I've got to get a full bottle of this. So anyway, that's the Living Proof Full Dry Volume and Texture Spray. Love that. And then in terms of dry shampoo, I'm loving this Crown Affair dry shampoo. It is probably the most literal interpretation of dry shampoo I've come across. Now, I know people have used various powders in their hair to kind of like soak up the oils and things like that, especially before like dry shampoo became such a thing. I know people would use like loose powder in their hair and like soak up the oils. Well, Crown Affair has this, basically it's a loose powder, comes with a brush. So you pick up the powder, it looks like a loose powder jar. It even has like the twisty top up here. It has like sifter holes at the top, and then you can just kind of shake it around. You can pour some out into the cap. You just pick it up with the brush, and then what I do is I'll just kind of pick up my hair and just dab it at the roots, and then I'll just work it in with my fingers. Now, I'm still in the habit of washing my hair very often. I wash it pretty much every single day. However, when I was getting ready, prepping to get my hair, you know, colored and bleached and all that again, my colorist, I remember the last time I went, she said, don't wash your hair for several days because when she puts the dye at my roots, my scalp gets really itchy. I suffer from eczema and my scalp gets eczema too. I've had like big patches of eczema, basically down here. I've had one like up here, but they're usually like at the base of my scalp. Anyway, just gross because it's in your hair and then, you know, you're trying to put like an eczema cream on there. Anyway, it's gross, which is another reason why I like to wash my hair, wash my scalp every day. It keeps my eczema at bay. So anyway, I did not wash my hair for like 3 days before going in because I thought, okay, the dirtier my scalp is, the more of a barrier there is between my scalp and the dye. So I was just using this dry shampoo and it was great. It was really great. I was like, okay, my hair does actually, well, it doesn't smell. That I cannot stand that smell of like a dirty scalp. It doesn't smell and it really worked. It worked really well. I did not feel like my hair was greasy, felt greasy, looked greasy. So I was very impressed with this. And yeah, I thought I would share that with you. And I think a few of you actually mentioned the Crown Affair dry shampoo because I was talking about using dry shampoo as like a styling product, you know, before I bleached my hair. And a couple of you mentioned this dry shampoo. So thank you very much. I really enjoy it. I think it's great. I need some coffee. I'm like having one of those days where I'm just stumbling over my words and I'm not able to like conjure up the right words. So just forgive me. It's just going to be one of those days. Okay, I do have a skincare product to talk about. I do also have a bone to pick with Clé de Peau. So you guys know I've been using this intensive fortifying emulsion from Clé de Peau. Now this was something that was recommended to me by All Feisty, Jennifer here on YouTube. She was using this as a primer and I was like, I have that. I'm going to use it as a primer and great primer. Absolutely great primer. You guys have seen me use this as my first step. Clé de Peau has discontinued this. Now they have something similar. It's something called like a day day emulsion, something that has an SPF in there. I have not tried that out. However, I did try this out, which is their Hydro Softening Lotion. And the word lotion got me because I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of like a nice either first step or first step to your skincare or first step to makeup. So I've been trying this. What I do, because by the time I sit down for makeup, I don't want to like pump it straight into my hand because this is pretty thin and I don't want it to like just run all over. I've got my jewelry on or whatever. So what I've been doing is actually pumping about 4 pumps into a cotton pad. Sorry, I'm looking for cotton pads. I don't have any. I must have just used them all. Okay, I usually have a little, oh, here they are. I was gonna say, I usually have a little pile here. So I usually just take a little cotton pad and I'll pump out about 4 pumps of this and I will just wipe it all over my face. It's really nice. It's completely different than the intensive fortifying emulsion. That emulsion feels like either a heavyweight serum or very, very lightweight kind of moisturizer. This lotion, as you can see, has a very, very thin consistency. There I go again. Thin consistency. And Clé de Peau has like 2 different lotions, one that's meant for dry skin and one that is meant for oilier skin. This is the one that's meant for dry skin. I have very dry skin. I'm perimenopausal. It is just getting drier as every day passes. And so this is great. I think it's a great first layer. And in some ways, I think it's actually a little bit better than the intensive fortifying emulsion as a primer because when it dries down, there's like a little bit of tack to it. There was none with the emulsion. The emulsion really just felt like a very lightweight moisturizer. I'd worked that in and it was just like very plumping and I loved it. Gave my skin a little bit of extra moisture. This definitely gives my skin a little bit of extra moisture. It almost feels like there's a barrier down. And then, yeah, it has that like little bit of tact. So I'm actually really enjoying this as a first step to makeup, but I do want to take this upstairs and like introduce it into my skincare routine too, kind of test it out in that way. But in terms of makeup primer, it's great. It's been great. All right, so for favorites, I'm gonna start with eyeshadow because I have been so blown away by the 4 eyeshadows I'm gonna be talking about. The first one I'm gonna talk about is the one that I am wearing. These are the Shantakai eye lumieres. Ever since I got the Marron Glacé in PR, ever since I got this shade in PR, I have not been able to shut up about these. And then when they had, this was before their Black Friday 30% off sale, they were having like a buy one, get one 25% off. So I went ahead and got the other 2 for myself. So this is Cremant and this is Tulle. And I have the Cremant shade all over my lid. And what I wanted to do was demonstrate not only how beautiful the like final look is, but I wanted to show you how easy these are. So I'm not gonna like edit out my application process here. I'm not gonna like shorten it. I usually shorten it, especially with eyeshadow when I'm sitting there just like blending. I'm not shortening this out because you can just use the doe foot wand in here and apply the shadow and just use the wand to blend in, and that's it. I don't use my fingers anymore. I don't even need to wipe off too much excess when I pull it out, maybe just the tips so that I don't have like a glop when I put it down on my lid. But I just, you know, graze it across my lash line across the top. I kind of bring it out onto the corner of my eye and then I just like blend over the majority of my lid. That's all I have on my eyelids today. These are so gorgeous, so gorgeous. I love the finish. I love that they have this beautiful high shine satin finish, but they're not like glittery. They just have this beautiful shimmer to them. They have this beautiful glow to them. And I love this like ethereal kind of holiday look. It's just gorgeous. I mean, I love the ethereal look all the time, but I think for holidays, for this like, I don't know, almost like winter goddess look, I think it's just perfect. This shade, if you want something even more like snowflake winter goddess look, this one is great too, the Tulle shade. And then if you have a deeper skin tone than me, or if you just like something a little bit smokier, the Marron Glacé is wonderful. It is so beautiful. It's so gorgeous. I just love these 3 shades that they came out with. I love the applicator. I love the formula, the texture. I love the end result. These are absolutely stunning, just gorgeous. So
Had to shout those out first. The other shadows I wanted to mention are these Merit shadows. So Merit Solo Shadows, they've been with us for a while, but these new like sheer shimmery ones are the newly released ones. And boy, are these beautiful. I almost want to say that these are like the cream pot version of those Shantakai eye lumieres. They take a little bit more to apply. Like I use my finger, I tap them on. I do have to like blend them out a little bit, but they are quite nice, quite nice. And if you caught my Sephora VIB sale try on haul video, I do try these on in that video. I use this shade. No, I'm sorry. I use Iris and Sartorial. So sorry, I've got 4 of them here. Iris is this lilac, kind of like has a little bit of a smokiness to it. This shade is really beautiful. And if you're looking for something a little bit, yeah, with just a little bit more of like a purple tone to it than either of these, in the Shantakai line, Iris is your friend. And then Sartorial is like a brown smoky shade, and I use those two together, the Iris and the Sartorial, and I use the Sartorial to just kind of add a little bit of dimension. Now, this is such a nitpicky comment or whatever, observation. We'll call it an observation. This Sartorial shade is softer than the others. So I don't know why there's like a little bit of an inconsistency. I guess there usually is when it comes to like different pigments or whatever, but I wasn't expecting that. So I just wanted to mention that, like if you get the Sartorial and you're like, oh my God, I love this texture, this specific texture, I don't think you're gonna get it, at least not in the 3 other shades that I have, which is Glacé, Iris, and Matchbook. Matchbook I actually have not used yet because it is quite warm. It has like a coppery tone to it, and I haven't been looking for that, but I'm definitely gonna have to try that out. But upon like finger swatching, I could tell that this formula, like the texture of it was a little bit different from Sartorial. Anyway, so minor, but just an observation. So here's Iris, Sartorialist, Glacé, and Matchbook. But these are beautiful. They are sheer but buildable. So if you want something sheer, they're there for you. If you want something with a little bit more opacity, you can just tap on another layer, tap on another layer. You can blend a few of the colors together. Really, really fun. I love these. I love these solo shadows. And I know when they came out with these originally in the matte version, I think a lot of people were concerned with the texture. It felt a little bit clay-like, a little bit dry. I liked them. I liked kind of like that tackiness, and like once you warmed it up, I felt like they were movable and you could blend them out, and I really liked those. But you're not going to have that problem with these if you had that problem with the previous ones. These are more emollient than the matte ones, and yeah, and they just kind of like glide right onto your lids. So I love these. They're gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Now I got this single shadow when I was in Kyoto. So this is the eye solo shadow, something like that, from Clé de Peau. Now I don't believe these are available in the US. I said it when I hauled it. I don't believe so. No one corrected me, so I'm pretty sure. Now you can order in the US, you can order them from Harrods. The last time I checked, Harrods has a pretty steep shipping fee, unfortunately, to the US, but maybe it's worth it if you buy a whole bunch of stuff, but I did want to mention that. There probably is some other retailers that will ship to the US that sells this, but yeah, Harrods is like the first one that came across my radar. Anyway, this is shade 106, Toasty Sand. And I love this because it has a little bit of smokiness to it. It has a little bit of a nice metallic sheen to it, but this is almost like a cream kind of shadow. You can see there's like zero kick up. So it's not very powdery at all. Definitely is more of like a cream to powder formula. And what I love about that is you get this sort of like smudge stick kind of effect to it. I really love it. I really, really love it. And I love that it has just like the brown body to it, but it has like a deeper kind of smoky base. And then there is this very, very light metallic sheen to it. So it's beautiful. It's easy to use, a great one and done shadow if you want to do like a smoky eye. And it has, like, despite how deep this actual shade is, it has like a light touch. So yeah, you can do like a really nice kind of gentle smoky eye look with this. I really love it. So highly recommend. It's a formula, I think, that makes it really, really special. So if there's a shade that you really think that you'll enjoy in this, I think you'll really like it because the formula just is beautiful. Chef's kiss. This next eyeshadow is gorgeous. It is so impactful. It is so gorgeous on the lids. It is the Make Beauty Multi-Chromatic Metal Reflecting Eyeshadow. And this is the shade Quartz, which you know just speaks to me so hard. So this is, it's like a cream to powder kind of eyeshadow. Very, very creamy in the pan. And it's stunning. Absolutely stunning. Look at this shine. Look at that little bit of like a fiery pink that peeks out. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. This is stunning. Absolutely stunning. And they have a few shades, and I want to definitely look at their site and see if I need to get any of these other ones. But this quartz shade is so gorgeous. It's reminiscent of Dior's Cosmopolite. It just takes my breath away. And I love this cream to powder. It's a little bit softer than the Clé de Peau, let's say. It has, you can probably see, like you could see some flakes kind of coming up. So it has a little bit more of a softness there versus the Clé de Peau, but oof, it is creamy. It is just easy to use. And I tried using a brush with this. I think you'll find the most success with just using your fingertip. And that makes for a really easy application. Anyway, this quartz shade just blew my skirt up. Do you guys have this? Do you guys have any of the other shades? Please let me know if there's one that I need to get. But that one, stunning. Okay, I think those are all of the eye products I wanted to talk about. But since I was just talking about Make Beauty, let me mention their Skin Mimetic Concealer. So it's a concealer that I'm wearing. It's a concealer I have been wearing. It's great. So I'm wearing shade, what? Oh, it's so small. Why so small? 01 Fair N, I believe, is the shade name. It is gorgeous. Okay, first of all, let's talk about the packaging. So we've got this glass tube. We have this little window here. They have this in like most of their products, anything where that's appropriate. And then we've got a really nice doe foot applicator, one with that little like reservoir tip. Gorgeous. So this concealer, let me just show you, has a fairly thin consistency, but man, is it perfecting. It's just really, really lightweight. It glides right on. It looks so seamless. And you almost question, like, did it do anything? And then you do like a comparison. You're like, oh yeah. Like your under eye just looks perfected. It's more than just like covering up darkness or whatever. It does this really beautiful like blurring, softening, brightening, of course, depending on what shade you get. But for me, this shade is like just brightening enough. I just think it's beautiful. It's so gorgeous. This texture is just really wonderful. It like, whoop, like it blends in so quickly and so seamlessly. I mean, you really question yourself. You're like, okay, did anything happen? And it's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. So I have it underneath my eyes. I have it around my nose just to kind of like block out a little bit of the redness. And I am wearing it over the Dior foundation stick. I've just been using this so not so. I didn't even mention in this video because shut up, Michelle. So yeah, that's the foundation I have on though. And I just have it a little bit around my nose just to kind of get rid of that redness. But it's really stunning. I just, every time I use this concealer, every single time I'm like, oh wow. It's just great. I just love the texture of it. And it wears really well. Like at the end of the day, my under eyes look the same, whether or not I set it down with powder. It's phenomenal. This concealer is phenomenal. You know, speaking of concealer, I'm gonna kind of jump around here. This was kind of a fail for me, and I'm a little bit disappointed. I have to admit, I'm a little bit disappointed. But this Makeup Forever HD Skin Full Cover Concealer, they sent this to me, and I think it's a new concealer. They generally only send me new releases. They don't really send me like re-ups or whatever. So I think this is a new release. When I went to, the reason why I'm questioning myself is I went to Sephora and it didn't say new. And I was like, That's weird. I think it's new. Anyway, I was using, oh, this is not the shade that I was using. This is 1N10. I was using like 1R or something. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I was using this concealer and it's almost like the exact opposite of this one. You know, it blended in and it did all that and it blended in quickly, but it wasn't this like seamless perfecting situation. I just felt like my under eyes just looked really like blank, like it did nothing for my under eyes. I don't think it did any kind of blurring. I don't think it did any sort of like unfocusing or brightening or perfecting, smoothing. It just was like an additional product that I put on my face that did absolutely nothing. So it didn't really have any kind of effect at all. Like I could have not used it and probably been better off. It's strange because I can't say that it especially looked like drying on my skin. It didn't look crackly. It didn't sink into fine lines. Like it didn't do anything obvious, but it just didn't do anything. It just didn't do anything. It was just kind of like, okay, like I don't ever need to put that on. That was my thought. Whatever. So that was my thought with Makeup Forever, and that's my fail for this month. So anyway, those are the concealers I've been playing with. Let's talk about blushes, because there's been a lot of blushes or face products. Because let's just talk about the Shantakai Holiday Collection. I have this highlighter on. This is the Cheek Light. I have this highlighter on. It's gorgeous. It's so beautiful. It's so smooth. It's so glowy without it looking too wet, you know, too extra shiny. This is, I feel like, a very modern, very mature type of highlighter. It's very, very smooth and it's just stunning. And I love this packaging. It's so pretty with the little diamond crystals on there. It does have a mirror on the inside, and this is a baked gel formula. So I would recommend using a denser brush to pick up the product, but I didn't have any problem. What was I using? I was using this brush, the Shoto 38 brush. And this is a fairly like wispy kind of brush, but it is a natural hair brush. This is goat hair, so it will pick up product better than a synthetic haired brush in general. But yeah, I just love it. I love the tone of it. It's on the cooler side. It has like that pink base to it, but it's just so stunning, and it like works seamlessly into blush. So it's just gorgeous. And speaking of blush, the blush in the Shantakai Holiday Collection, which I don't have on today because I wanted to use a different blush for you guys, is absolutely stunning. So this is their Radiant Blush. And I did a whole video kind of demoing the Shantakai Holiday Collection, and I loved that look that I came up with this blush, that highlighter, this Marron Glacé, eye lumiere. So good. That look, just, it was easy, it was fast, it was perfect for the holidays, it was perfect for when you want to feel a little bit glowy. Just stunning. So wanted to shout out the whole holiday collection from Shantakai. But let's talk about the blush that I have on. So I got these by Terry Tea to Tan powder blushes last month at some point, and I have been using this Rosy Romance, right? Yeah, this #1 Rosy Romance quite a bit, and that's what I have on today. These have a really soft, you probably can't tell because they're just like a pressed powder, but a really, really soft formula. So they pick up very easily. You just need to like dab your brush in once, and they blend out like a dream. Absolutely gorgeous. So easy to use, and the colors are so bright and so fun. So that was Rosy Romance. Let me do some swatches here. And then this one is Pink Passion. This one is a much brighter, deeper, cooler toned pink, Pink Passion. And then this last one that I got is Coral Crush. And this is a super bright coral color. Look at that. So I feel like I'm kind of saving these two for the summertime. I'm sure I'll whip them out before then, but those two really, really scream summertime for me. But this Rosy Romance, I think, is great, kind of all seasons, every day. It's, again, if you have my skin tone, it's a very nice, light, kind of neutral pink. I really love it. I really love it. It just goes on so quickly, blends out like a dream. Okay, the other blushes that I wanted to mention are the Glossier Cloud Paint Plush Blush. I have two shades. I got Puff to try out, and I threw it into my Sephora VIB recommendations video, but it was very new to me. And I was like, I'm just gonna throw it in here because I really love it, but I have not used it for a long time. Well, I've continued to use Puff, and during the sale, I ended up getting Gale, which is a little bit more of a nude kind of shade. Let me do swatches of these two. The formula of these, again, we've got this kind of like cream to powder formula where these are probably like the driest cream to powder out of everything I've talked about today. But yeah, they just have this like very cloud-like. I feel like Cloud Paint has always been like such a good name for these Glossier blushes, whether they were the liquid ones or these, but just so beautiful. And the texture really is very, very plushy. So here is Puff and here is Gale, the more nude. I love this blush. It goes on great. And I use a brush with like a normal blush brush. I wouldn't focus so much on the fact that it's like kind of a cream to powder. I would definitely treat it kind of like it's a powder blush. And it goes on like a whisper. It is really, really beautiful. It looks like little clouds on your cheeks. You can build them up. I don't mean to say or use all those descriptors to say that it has like barely any pigmentation. That's not the case, as you can tell. But the effect of it is very, very cloud-like. And yeah, I absolutely love these. So wanted to shout those out. And then a cream blush that I have been loving. It's the Make Beauty Cream Stroke Hyper Nude. And this is such a beautiful, like if you're kind of a cooler toned blush lover like me, it's so beautiful. It definitely warms up a little bit on my cheeks, but it's gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. If anything, it's just like kind of a neutral leaning peach. Anyway, this is, look at this packaging. The Make Beauty packaging is just so much fun. So they do have other shades, but I love this Hyper Nude. I do also have, which one is this one? Major Mauve. So this is deeper, if you want something a little bit deeper, but the texture is so great. And, you know, if you're applying like a cream blush over powder products, I would take a brush and brush it over the stick first and then kind of like pounce so that you're not disturbing the powder underneath, just in case. But this is just such a gorgeous shade. And then let me just show you, it blends out really beautifully. So it's not like super duper emollient where it's kind of like a little bit too greasy feeling on the cheeks. It has a little bit of like a teensy bit, when you're blending it out, you'll feel it, like a teensy bit of a tack there. Oh, but it's stunning. I love that shade. And I do like this formula and the packaging. So, so good. Okay, and this next product is new to me. By far not new. I think it was released actually last year in 2024. This is the Chanel Balm Essentiel in Draguet. And I love these Balm Essentiels. I think they're so much fun. I think depending on the shade, you can figure out like how you want to use it. If you want to use it as a highlight, as like just a cheek topper, as a lip gloss. And this one and the Moonlight Kiss, which is the one that I couldn't shut up about. What was this, earlier this year or late last year? This guy I was using kind of as like a lip gloss. Well, I was using the Draguet as a lip gloss. I don't have it on today. Let me do a swatch. And it's great. It's such a fun kind of like frosty kind of lip product. And I love the texture of this. It is almost, dare I say, like when I put it on my lips, it almost feels like the Rouge Coco Flash because it has kind of a thinness to it and then it kind of just settles down. You know, it feels, you know, there's no stickiness or anything like that. It's not oily. It just has such a unique texture, the Rouge Coco Flash, that this kind of reminded me of it. Anyway, I love this shade because it just adds a little bit of something to my lips. I could throw it on if I have nothing else on. It actually makes a nice topper too. But by itself, it just gives you a little bit of a little bit of a sheen, just makes your lips look a little healthier. And of course, you can use this like on your cheeks, like tap it on as like highlighter or whatever. I really love these Balm Essentials. They're wonderful. So anyway, wanted to mention that drug A, even though it's not new at all, but it was new to me. And I have one lip product to talk about. It's what I have on, and it is the Dior Sequin Lip Duo. I have on the shade 220. Damn, these small letters. It's 220. I think it's like Romantic Rose. I don't know. I'm getting all the names mixed up. Anyway, I also have this shade, 719, which I think is Acrobat. This is the darker shade. This shade I feel like I can wear all the time, and it has little silvery sparkles in there, sequins in there. Last year they had like a sequin lip, and it was just basically like a matte liquid lipstick. This year they came out with basically like a matte liquid lipstick, but it ends up being like a little bit stickier, and then you have this gloss side. It's not exactly like the Chanel duos, where they're not going anywhere, and that gloss that you put on top is more like a sealant. This is definitely more like a gloss, and these have like a long wear aspect to them, but they're not like an ultra long wear. They're not like a matte liquid lipstick long wear, but they are very, very comfortable, and they do have a bit of longevity to them. I just really like this subtle glitz to them, this like subtle sequin glitz to them. What you do is you apply it, you wait for it to set down. You'll definitely be able to tell when it sets down because it feels kind of sticky, like you won't be able to like slide your lips anymore. Anyway, at that point, just kind of like pucker or like put a little pressure on your lips, and you'll see the sequins come out. It's a lot of fun, and then go ahead and add the gloss on top. So I really love this shade. I really, really love the little sequin action. I love this formula. I'm so glad that they added that gloss. I do like a glossier, juicier kind of lip and lip look. So yeah, I just love these. I'm thinking about getting another nude shade, but I don't know if that would be too redundant. And then I have a couple products that, you know, I've been kind of playing around with and I have some thoughts on. They're neither fails nor are they favorites, but this Mary Phillips Lip Siggy, I got this because of the name. I will admit, the word Siggy got me. I was like, oh, cigarette. I miss smoking. Did you guys watch The Beast in Me? It's with Claire Danes and Matthew Rhys. It's on Netflix. There's a scene where she's smoking in her house and she's just talking about how much she loves smoking and like how decadent it is to be like smoking inside. Anyway, I was like so relating to that scene so badly. It's been a long time though. I have not had a cigarette probably in like 30, no, it hasn't been that long. 25 years? Yeah, it's been like almost 25 years. Anyway, shut up, Michelle. So I got these because they were called the Siggy. I mean, they're okay. It's like this tinted balm. It's a very, slender stick. It has a nice texture. There's nothing wrong with them, but there's nothing outstanding other than the shape. There's nothing outstanding. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that because I did try that for you. It was part of my Sephora VIB sale. So anyway, there's that. And then this too, the Laura Mercier Translucent Hydrating Setting Spray Ultra Blur. It's a decent setting spray. What happened was it started to get a little bit glowy. I think by the time I was kind of done talking about it in this video, I felt like I could kind of see the shininess coming out. It continued to get a little bit shiny, but then it did kind of level off. It's not like I progressively turned into the Tin Man by the end of the day. It did level off, but I saw a little bit of like those shiny patches, which may not be your thing. But what I did want to mention was, after a few hours of wear, I could feel it. It felt like a setting spray. I could kind of like feel it when I moved my face around. And I was kind of comparing it to the Patrick Star Powder Melt Glass Setting Spray, which I love. You get a beautiful finish. It doesn't change. You don't get any shinier. You don't feel it. It doesn't like leave like a film on your face. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. But I did want to test this out. I did want to test this out for you guys. And it's not bad. Like I said, it's not bad, but it's not great. It's not great. I still prefer this one over that one. All right, guys, that is it for this luxury beauty lowdown. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Would always love to hear some of your recent favorites, what you've been loving. let me know. And give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.